Yo, what's up YouTube? It's been a while since I made a real video, so I figured I would go ahead and make a series of guides on my main team, starting with Broly, because I think he's the easiest character on my team that I play for sure. And a lot of people play him, and I just wanted to show off like a lot of stuff I know from. This is also more of a beginner guide too, right? So I'm gonna go through like everything you would need to know to pick him up, but I'm also going to include some setups that I know to like really kind of bring your Broly up to the next level. That will be later in the video. I'll have timestamps down in the description below and in the comments if you don't feel like watching certain parts of the video, just stuff that you already know. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with his buttons, right? So let me go ahead and kill off my team, since this is more of like a limit break guide, because a lot of people are gonna be playing on Anchor. All right, so let's start with his buttons. So 5L -2, 2L -2, 5LL -2. Really good. Another thing is 2M is safe button. 5M, 2M, 5H, 2H, JM, and JH also all have armor starting on frame 9. So keep that in mind. It is one hit of armor, but he still has it. And also his 5S. This is the best Ki Blast in the game, right? So I'll go ahead and show that off. See that? Broly's Ki Blast beats the Ki Blast designed to go through Ki Blast. That's how good it is. And another thing is he can angle it up also. So like if they're trying to jump out of the way, you can catch them and gel them back to the ground. And see how I can alternate between them? Really good button. His JS also covers a really good angle. And you can like jump forward, and if you hold up, it'll go at a steeper angle, right? It won't go full screen anymore, but it'll cover a little bit more below you. Pretty good in case you want to like kind of just bait going for a JH, because you'll stuff their 2H. One more thing is his 5H will never true string. It will not true string from any of his buttons. There's always at least a frame gap, 1 frame gap. See, you might not be able to see it in the video, but the frame advantage, I'm minus for like a frame there. So keep that in mind. So now his special moves. Every one of his special moves have frame 4 armor. They're all technically frame 4 reversals. This is a beam, frame 4 armor, 1 hit of armor. All of his command grabs, frame 4 armor. They all have 1 hit though. Although it doesn't really matter for these ones, because they can hit you out of it. This one, it matters, so they can't mash out of this one. They have to jump it. Right? One more thing is, all of his lariats, frame 4 armor, and they have 10 hits of armor. Right? So the only moves that can beat it that I can think of are like Gotank's Beyblade. That is the only move that I've seen in a real match actually beat it. Another thing is this move. You're going to be using this move a lot. It's frame 4 armored again, and it is an anti-air grab, right? So they're trying to jump out of the way of this. You run up and you grab them. Also, if they're in the corner, let me go ahead and set them to up tick, right? There we go. Right, if they up tech, they die. If you see them up tech, the only thing they can really do is if they're chunks, they can flip out, right? A lot of characters can't do much about this, but if you see them do that, they're more than likely going to vanish. So you can just kind of sit on the ground, play RPS between this and a 2H. And his 2H is really good too. I'll get into why later, like the RPS behind it. But for now, let's just talk about his barrier now. So this pretty much means everything the opponent can do in the neutral, except just running up and hitting you, super dashing, or raw vanishes, right? So I'll go ahead and show that off. I already have a bot set up, so I'll just play it real quick, and I'll show you just how good this barrier is. See that? It'd be every one of his options. On top of that, you can refresh it mid-use, right? So you're sitting here, spamming your key blast, you're trying to bait like a vanish or a super dash. You can just refresh it whenever you want. Alright, really good. Combined with the best key blast in the game, he pretty much forces it into a one-on-one fight. And the only things that can beat it, like I said earlier, are like physical hits, right? So, let me go ahead and show off that too real quick. See that? The barrier got removed. See that? So, if you're fighting someone that has physical assist, keep that in mind, right? But otherwise, you're just going to steamroll the neutral. Really good. Combined with stuff like, let me bring back just one of my assists so I can show this off. So like you can just do something like this. Boom, you're in. Just like that. Alright, so his block strings. Right. Block strings, obviously, really good, really strong. 2L, 5L, 5LL. All being -2 means you can pretty much stagger infinitely. Right, really good pressure. Extremely good pressure. Now, if you want to start throwing in the command grab, you don't want to do it right away. Right? See? It whiffs because they're still in block stun. You want to slightly delay it. See that? And this works on every button, not just his LUTs. So 5M, 2M, 5H. Whoops. There we go, finally. Works on all of his buttons. His pressure's insanely good. On top of that, you want to stagger your buttons. Alright? And a good way to practice this. So the main problem is they can fuzzy jump out, right? Like they can kind of just like guess, kind of try to jump out of your strings. What you want to do, set a bot to jump, right? Jump on block. Let me make sure I have them set to block after guarding, and have them jump as soon as possible. And you'll know you're doing your strings right. You don't want to stagger every single button, but you'll know you're doing your strings right when you catch the jump. See that? Jumps have 4 frames to start up in this game, so you could frame trap them. No, I did it wrong there. There we go. You don't want to stagger every single button, because if you do that, then you can get reflected, or even worse, level 3. Let me show that off. So this is reflecting. See that? And then I would have got to him there and exploded. Another thing too, show off level 3s. Level 3 admittedly is a little bit harder. You can still lose 2 DPs as well. So like anything that's a frame 1 reversal, you lose to that. Oh, maybe not Trunks because he sucks. maybe not Trunks because he sucks, but that level 3 is kind of bad. I mean, but yeah, you get my point. If it's like a level 3, like Base Vegeta would be better for this. Let me bring in Base Vegeta. All right. He's got a really good level 3 for this. Show that off instead. There we go. See that? I lose my turn. So you don't want to stagger every single button. You want to kind of like just make them think that you're going to stagger, right? Right there. And then he explodes. I timed that punish badly, but you get the point. You make them explode for going for risky option. You want to make them respect your block strings, right? And then, on top of that, since 5H never true strings, it naturally frame traps. Let me set them to jump again. No delays. So you can go through a whole block string, and if they try jumping at the very end, since 2M's safe, right? You want to end on your strings, all your strings on 2M a lot of the time. You'll catch them trying to jump or mash or a lot of stuff. You'll catch them doing a lot of stuff there. Another thing too is if you can end your string in this, right? Look at all that pushback. See that? You can't really punish me from that. It's kind of like round star distance, right? And even in the corner, it's even better. Right? Because all this frame 9 armor, they can't really challenge. It's technically your turn there. They can still like jump out and stuff, but most of the time 5M will catch their jump and they'll just be jumped back to the ground into another strike throw mix. Let's talk about his combos now. So mid-screen, you want to go for 5H. I don't like doing 2M, 5M, 2H with this character because you get less corner carry. You want to do 5M, 2M, 5H, in my opinion. All right. There you go. That's your B&B. You only vanish if you want to keep the corner carry. If you don't really care for the corner carry, you can do this. See? And you still get pressure there. You just don't get the corner carry. Another thing you can do too is you can he kind of has a re-jump. So you can do this. There we go. See that? Mid-screen to corner, and I don't have to spin the bar. Really good corner carry. And you get more damage, more bar, etc. Well, you don't get more damage than the Vanish extension, but it's meterless, right? So it's almost always, if you could do that, go for it. Now off of 2H, let's say you 2H their super dash. This is what your combo looks like. Alright. You always want to end in medium throw. Medium throw is your go-to. Me personally, I like ending all of my Broly combos in EX grab. If I'm not going to vanish and go for the Dragon Rush, I always go for EX grab, because let me just show you how much Oki you get off of EX grab. See that? And it gives me insane corner carry to the other side as well. Really good. So, his corner combos now. Let's talk about his combos starting with his 2-3-6S, right? Like this move, this is what you want to hit confirm into with all your combos. Right? So watch this damage off of a 5L. See that? 47% off of a 5L. Insane. And off of 5H too, you get less damage, but still better than nothing, right? So a lot of the time you're going to hit him with the 5H trying to jump out at the end of the string and such. That's just how it is. There's a 1 frame gap, so naturally it's going to frame trap him doing stuff. Doesn't get much. 34%, still good. And it looks like you got, what was the meter gain on this? About 3/4 meter gain. Pretty good. Alright combo. If you have assists, obviously that becomes way more. So keep that in mind. But this is more of a limit break guide. I'll show off like extensions and stuff later on at the end of the video, if you feel like playing a mid instead, or if you just tag them in, right? So let's talk about his slow level 3 combos, right? So this is where you explode, right? Broly comes in, he gets that extra bar from limit break, he's loading on meter. Okay? Let's start with the corner B&B, because you can do this off of anything in the corner, right? See that? So one of the things that everybody got in Season 3 was the ability to special cancel with their Vanish, and that means that Broly can do that off of an Air Vanish in the corner now. Really good, really strong. That was 71% solo for 4 bar. Really good. You hit them with this move, and they're almost always going to have a dead character. Really stupid. So you can go for 2 slow level 3s in combo too, because one of the changes that Broly got in Season 3 was the ability to do it off of all of his lariats, light one included. So basic corner combo turns into a lot of damage.
Here's a present for you. I'll put you out of your misery. It's over. Out of my way.
See that? 82% off of a 5M for 6 bars. I don't really like doing that unless it's going to kill. A lot of the time that's going to kill, so keep that in mind. I don't recommend doing slow level 3 over normal level 3 at all unless you have like 4 or 5 bars and you know it's going to kill. Another thing too is the way that you override. So you can override the hit stun of the level 3 there and get 2 of them in a combo. All you gotta do is right before the slow level 3 explodes, when it hits the ground, you do lot, just like that. That's all you have to do right before it explodes on the ground, and you'll override the explosion hit stun so they don't get thrown upwards and can take out. Okay. Also mid-screen, so they might get hit by this a lot because 10 hits farmer, and it's really fast. It's almost always worth it to go for the EX. Don't bother with the medium one. 39 frames, see that? 28, 11 frames faster. It's almost always better to just go for the EX. You can do it off of the EX anywhere on the screen, and you can combo it, right? So let me show that off. See that? Anytime you get this little trick off the 2M, you can combo into it. And the damage off of this raw is absolutely monstrous. If you're fighting this character, do not get hit by this move at all.
I'll put you out of your misery. It's over. Die. I'm going to bathe in your blood.
See that? That was 4.5 bars and you lost 65-70% there. Really dumb. Okay, so one of the last things I'm going to talk about with Anchor Broly, besides his level 3s, are going to be safe jumps. Like really, safe jumps anyone can do. Because for some reason people don't lab out safe jumps, so I'm just going to put some here. One of the easy ones you can do off of his light command grab is dash up IADGH. I'll show that off right now. See that? Extremely meaty. If you do that right, it's really meaty. I'm pretty sure that will safe jump babies, grade 8, super even. Really good. Another thing too is a lot of times in the corner, I'll talk about a setup off of this later. Alright, that's one that everyone in the game can do off of a JD art, right? It's always the same Oki for every character in the game. They can all do that. Unless their JH is like super slow, super weird, you can always do that. Alright. And mid-screen, that's a safe jump. You just dash up and then IAD like when you get really close to him. So I'll go ahead and show off his safe jump off his level 3 in the corner and mid-screen. I don't really recommend doing it over his mix for more reasons than the mix is just better. I'll talk about that here in a bit, but I'll go ahead and show it off. You don't have to worry about this unless you're going up against like really competent players. See that? And mid-screen, it's sort of the same deal. It's a little bit of a moon jump. Right. Mid-screen, it's more acceptable to do. In the corner, I don't like doing it because of this. I'll just go ahead and show that off. Right, and that goes for every safe jump off a level 3 in the game. Not just this one specifically. Alright, so now let's talk about his mix off his level 3. It's really easy. Anyone can do this. Even a toddler can do this.
I'll put you out of your misery.
2M. That's all you gotta do. It leaves you usually +8, +7. That's enough to go for 5L or a 2L meaty, whichever you prefer. I usually go for 2L because I'm usually +8, and that means like a frame 1 meaty. Either way, it'll catch a up back. So the whole mix-up is between this and this. All right. And obviously, you're going to have some bar. So a lot of the time, this is a death. That's 40%. Because the level 3 usually do like 60% in your combo total. And then that's the remaining 40 and they just die, right? So, really strong. Anyone can do this. Right, not complicated. Sometimes you have to go for the IADJ's frame kill instead. This one's more so if you're a little bit further from the corner, since the 2M won't work. See that? I don't like doing it because sometimes you're 2+. So if I can help it, I always try to go for the 2M. But if you're 2+, your button will just go through them and they won't get hit. And then you can just get hit straight up. If they're mashing on wake up, you'll just get destroyed. I don't really like going for that one. Instead, I always do the 2M. So there's that. That's about it for all you need to know to really play this character. There really isn't much, right? So, but if you want to stick around, here's some really cool frame kills and setups that I know of this character, just to make him a little bit scarier, right? Just some real specific shit. I'm going to start with the pull out. You might have seen this before, but he can pull out of the corner with his level 3. And this might take me a couple tries, so there might be a cut here, but let's hope I get it first try.
Where do you think you're going? I'll put you out of your misery.
There we go, second try. So, this is obviously really good for a few reasons. This opens up this as a mix-up, right? And on top of that too, let's say I don't really recommend going for this option unless you're like really trying to be disrespectful, but you can also just do this if you wanted, right? So it just makes it even scarier. You can still do the 2M frame kill like I showed. You still get the whole strike throw on the same side, but now there's an additional, like, what if I cross up option. I don't really like going for it because doing the pull out setup is fairly difficult, and his mid-screen combos aren't that good anyway. You usually want to keep the corner because that's where his damage really is. But it's just an additional thing for your Broly. If you can really get good at doing that, then go for it. Yeah, it's really good. So another thing Broly has is the ability to bait sparks off his level 3 and still keep his turn if they don't spark. Really stupid. So I'll go ahead and show that off. The only main difference is you want to do his air lock grab instead of his medium. J2H, level 3. And you want to erase her blow as soon as you can. See that? And if they don't spark it,
I'll put you out of your misery.
plus 11. That's enough to go for another strike throw mix-up if you really felt like it. Really stupid. I don't recommend doing that if they don't have spark, because it's almost always better to just go for the mix, like I said earlier. But if they do have spark, I would go for it. Right. Another thing is, this one's really common. You'll get this one off of DHCs a lot. So let me go ahead and set up a bot to show off just how good this is. There we go. So after his level 1, this works for DHC as well. You can do a single key blast into 2 through 6S, and if they super dash, they lose. If they mash, they lose. If they jump, they lose. The only thing they can really do is vanish out, or they can try to level 3, or just like really unsafe shit, right? That's the whole thing. He pretty much keeps his turn after a level 1. Really stupid, really strong. Show it off one more time. And obviously as well, if you hard read a super dash, you can go for a 2H and make them explode. But it's almost always better to just autopilot into 236S. Obviously they can reflect it if they down tech, but you're safe still, so it doesn't really matter. Another thing you can do, I like doing this a lot too. I'll go ahead and set the bot to delay tech just so I can show this off. Set them to 30 frames just so I can show this off real easy. Okay. You can do medium command grab here into 5M, right? And if they delay tech, if you do it properly, the 5M won't come out. So it's a bit of an OS. See that? You can react to the delay tech. You can react to the delay tech since the 5M doesn't come out. And the whole reason you want to do 5M is in case they up tech and they get hit. I'll show that off. Here we go. See that? If they up tech and get hit, 5LL whiffs. It hits too low. See that? Whereas he chest bumps them, and then you can go into a 2H from there and make them absolutely explode. Really stupid. Another thing too is in his corner combos, you almost always, if you can, want to end in this. The barrier is stupid strong. I don't like doing it because it makes it harder for me to see what they're doing on the ground, and I don't like that. But if you can, always end in J2H barrier. You can get a safe jump here. See that? You get a safe jump if you do it properly. And the whole reason you want to do that is it makes this option pretty much unseeable. See that? You can't even see it. And it makes everything else he's doing really hard to see. But like I said, this bright flash, as soon as the barrier goes up, makes it really hard for me to see what their tech option is. So I don't like doing it. But you want to do it. It's the optimal thing to do. Another thing too. So his 2H. There's RPS behind it as well. So let's say they go for like a bad air-to-air and you 2H them and they block it. It's between this being a true string, right? Because his eraser blow, the first hit of it gels into vanish, and this. They're both frame 4 armored, so they can't really mash. They just have to guess. And this catches jumps. So pretty much 50-50. Another thing too is if they decide to vanish, they have the RPS between this and buttons, and sometimes even command grab. So let's say you hit them with the lariat a lot and they're sick of it, right? They're going to just sit and block and try to bait it out. Since lariat can never true string into another vanish, they can reflect it and just reset to neutral. Let's say they decide they want to get smart and try to just wait. They get command grabbed. So they have to guess there too. There's RPS on his 2H and on his lariat. Really good. So one of the last things about Broly is if he has sparking, and this works anytime he's out, not just limit break or anything, his meter gain becomes crazy good. One and a half bars there. You have to do the EX grab there if you decide to go for more key blasts, but I'd say it's worth it. Plus the damage there is really strong. So I would say anytime you're in Spark, always go for that combo. Alright, And as for if you're not playing them anchor, right? Let's say you tagged them out with a DHC, or tagged them in, I mean. There's some really easy extensions you can get with them, with your assists. And this works with most assists. You might have to test with your own, but off his auto combo, right? The little ground pound thing, he brings you back to the ground, whatever. Most assists give him this extension. Right. And Vegeta's there, you got caught a little bit early. It's really weird. I'm pretty sure this works with beam assist too. You might have to call them early as well. But if you have an assist that restands, he gets even more damage. Restands are like his best friend for assists. See that? I got so much more corner carry and damage out of that just for having Goku. Another thing that restands can give him, specifically Goku, this is more of a Goku thing, is you get the ability to side swap and keep SKD. You got 38%. I get same side sliding knockdown. Don't have to burn the bar on the Vanish DR. One of the last things you can do too is your assists can give Broly slow level 3 mid combo. So I'll show that off right now. See that? You don't have to burn the bar on the Vanish into special canceling it. You don't have to end your combos early going into Light Lariat. You don't have to do none of that. You just call your assists. If it has enough hits done, it will work. DP assists are one of the best for this. You might have to experiment with your own team to figure out what assists work or if your team can even do it. But 99% of the time, I'd say everyone can do it, right? Unless you're running some really oddball assists. C assists especially can give him that, because it knocks them up in the air real high before they hit them down. It's more of a timing thing in that sense, but yeah, really good. But that's about it. That's most of the stuff, if not all, that I know of Broly that I could think of when making this video. If you know of anything else that you want to add, please put it in the comments below. And, you know, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know if this helped you. I'm going to be making a Goku and a base Vegeta guide next. So if you were interested in those characters, please check those out too. And I'll see you guys in that video.